Very few things in life are more painful than a partner cheating on you. It can lead you to feel angry, sad, betrayed, sometimes even guilty. But as terrible as things may feel right now, remember that this isn't your fault. There are almost no good reasons to cheat in a marriage. In this video, I'll explain to you how to confront a partner or spouse that's cheated on you and help you navigate the situation. I'm Brad Browning, aka The Marriage Guy, and I've been saving marriages for over a decade now. Please subscribe to my channel here on YouTube for more free relationship advice videos like this one in the future. Now, as I said, in today's video, I'm going to attempt to cover how you should confront your cheating spouse. Unfortunately, unlike in many of my other videos, I can't give you an exact, three-step plan to handle this kind of situation. With something, as difficult and complex as this, there really is no exact blueprint that's going to work for everyone. But I can help you decide how to tackle things and how to approach your partner in the most effective way possible. Let's get one thing out of the way right off the bat. Before you confront your spouse about their infidelity, you need to be certain that they are in fact cheating on you. The last thing you want to do is accuse your partner of something that they're not actually guilty of doing. So you can't just confront them over a hunch that you have about their possible affair. Before you bring this topic up at all, you really want to be very close to 100% certain that they are indeed cheating on you. But there is another critical point that I need to make here. You definitely do not want to do anything that would invade your spouse's privacy. That means, no hacking into their phone or email or social media, no following them around without their knowledge, and no calling his or her friends to make sure that they are where they say they are. A marriage should be fundamentally built on trust, and if you get caught trying to snoop around in your spouse's life, this trust will be broken, and that, of course, opens a whole new can of worms. So how can you be sure that your spouse is in fact cheating? Well, here are a few questions to ask to judge how confident you can be in their unfaithful behavior. Question number one, has the relationship with your partner fundamentally changed recently? Have they become cold and distant? Or perhaps they're spending far less time at home lately and show less interest in spending time together. Has your sex life and your partner's interest and intimacy declined recently? If you've noticed any of these things change dramatically, it may be an indicator that your spouse might be interested in someone else. Question number two, have they become more secretive about certain things lately? This is especially important when it's related to your partner's phone habits. Do they leave the room to take calls or respond to texts? Or do they become, very protective of their phone and their privacy? If they're freaking out about their privacy surrounding their phone, this could be a strong indicator that they may be unfaithful to you, or at least talking to someone that they don't want you to know about. Question three, if you ask your partner where they've been or what they've been up to, does their story line up? Are they overly defensive when you ask this kind of question? Now, I'm not suggesting that you should grill your spouse about their every move. That's not reasonable or appropriate, but you do have a right to know where they are or what they're doing in general. If their story doesn't line up or you can't connect the dots or confirm that what they're saying they've been up to is even plausible, that might indicate that they're hiding something from you. Question four, have they been spending money that you can't account for or perhaps that seems very out of character? Maybe they've suddenly become more defensive or private about their spending habits. If their reasons for spending more than normal seems off, this could definitely be another indicator that they're cheating. Now, if you've answered yes to most or all of these four questions, that is often cause for concern and could definitely indicate that they're hiding something or someone from you. Now, don't get me wrong here. Just because their behavior or spending habits have suddenly changed, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're cheating on you. But the more these things add up and the more suspicious their behavior becomes, the more confident you can be that something fishy is going on, right? Once you've identified with very little doubt that your marriage is facing an infidelity crisis, then it's time to ask yourself some tough questions. If you do find out that your spouse is indeed cheating, do you intend to stay with him or her? Would you leave the marriage? And are you 100% certain that whatever you decide to do is the correct course of action? Now, if you are watching this video, then I'm going to assume that you're wanting to confront your spouse about the affair in such a way that won't burn any bridges long term. So that's exactly what I'll teach you to do over the remainder of this video. Let's first talk about how to prepare for your spouse's reaction when you do bring up this topic. You need to approach the conversation with a calm mindset, which can be a lot more difficult than it sounds. But allowing the discussion to immediately escalate into a screaming match is not going to be productive, so be sure that you can handle things with a cool, calm, and collected frame of mind before you broach the subject. Be aware that when confronted, your spouse will likely act angry, defensive, and emotional at first. They'll probably try to lie, deny the affair, and tell you that you're being crazy. You'll want to be ready for this reaction and to try not to escalate the situation further. So try to know exactly what you're going to say before entering the conversation and expect a fiery response in turn. I also recommend talking in a non-accusatory tone of voice when speaking to your spouse. As much evidence as you may have, there is always a chance that there's been a misunderstanding. So speak to your spouse as if all you want to know is the truth. Don't be overly aggressive, don't yell, and don't lash out and say something that you'll later regret. Do your best to keep your body language, your voice, and your emotions in check. But while this direct approach can be successful, it's actually often better to approach the situation in a more roundabout way. Remember that right now, you have the upper hand. You know that something might be up. So instead of blatantly coming out and accusing your spouse directly, try to ask questions to force them to lie about something. Because once your spouse is aware that you're onto them, they're going to take extra steps to conceal their behavior. And eventually, if they're sneaky enough, they'll be able to cover their infidelity completely, and you may never know the truth. So instead of jumping in with 2 feet, it's best to go about this more strategically. For example, if your spouse said that they were at the gym last night and you have a strong suspicion that they weren't, ask them which gym class they went to and what time it started. Then say that your coworker attended the same class last night but didn't notice your spouse there. Now, when you make this statement to your partner, observe how they react. Do they begin to panic? Do they immediately become angry? Anger and defensiveness are often an indication of lying. Now, if you catch them on a lie, this is the time where you pounce and calmly accuse them of cheating. But if you're still unsure or they react, really calmly and rationally, then continue probing them, keeping in mind there's still a chance that they're telling you the truth. Over a long period of time, you could also ask them the same questions over and over and see if they change their answers. For example, if they're staying long hours after work, keep asking them why they're staying at the office late. And keep doing this once or twice a week, each time taking note of what they say and how they respond. Liars tend to give long, drawn-out explanations to conceal the truth. Or, as I said earlier, they'll become defensive and angry right out of the gates. Often, their reasons and explanations may be inconsistent or even flat-out illogical. And over time, you'll be able to build a stronger case once you finally do accuse them of cheating on you. Finally, once you've built your case, calmly present them with the reasons why you know that they're cheating. Try to keep things as unemotional and non-confrontational as possible. Again, as I mentioned several times already, remember that they're probably going to lash out in anger and deny everything. So instead of responding in kind, just show them the evidence. Once you both calm down, you can then talk to your spouse about why he or she cheated and whether it's worth salvaging the relationship. If your goal is to eventually fix the marriage, then the best way to recover and get over this ordeal is to ask all the questions you need to ask. You need to know why it happened, and you need to calmly talk about how to prevent this from ever happening to you again. Of course, this may not be an option, and you may very well indeed choose to end the marriage. But whatever you decide, think long and hard on what you want to do. But always remember this one thing. Nobody deserves to be cheated on twice, so this must be the one and only time that you deal with infidelity in your marriage. And if you're still not sure how to approach this topic or how to be sure that your spouse is in fact cheating on you, please consider signing up for my one-on-one personal coaching service before you take things to your spouse and potentially drive a wedge into your marriage that you may never be able to recover from. To begin working with me today, just visit www.marriageguy.com/coaching and follow the simple steps on that page to register for my coaching program. Then I'll take the time to learn about your specific situation and we'll work together to ensure you get the outcome that you're hoping for. Again, learn more about my coaching and sign up today at marriageguy.com/coaching. My coaching is more affordable than you think, and it's always 100% confidential, so there's really no risk to you. And lastly, folks, let me finish up this video by saying that I'm really genuinely sorry that you're facing this situation right now. Learning that your partner has cheated on you can be a horrible, traumatic experience that can really rock your entire world. But you do deserve a faithful marriage, so you need to confront things head on and tackle the situation to get a satisfactory outcome. I hope you do find a solution as quickly as possible. I'll certainly be rooting for you, and I'll be there to help you if you need any more guidance. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for leaving your comments and questions in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.